Judson Powell, the fastest 15 minutes on the internet and on social media. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Want to talk about Amber Guyger and the sentence that she got. First of all, I think there's a couple of things that everybody's overlooking in the emotional thing. And the one thing that you're really overlooking is that this was a crime of passion. It was not just this was not your ordinary run-of-the-mill cop busting somebody's house and shoot somebody. They had a relationship. And that's one thing that is really not coming out, is the fact that she knew him and he knew her. And it seems like they had some type of intimate relationship. And that's the one thing that's not really being reported in all of this. Everybody is treating it like, oh, like it was the typical run-of-the-mill, cop busts in, sees a black man and just shoots him, and starts going guns blazing. That wasn't what the deal was. And the other thing is, and she let him bleed out and all this kind of stuff. So this was not just an ordinary, bad cop, comes in, sees a black man and decides to shoot him. That's not what this was about. In my opinion, this is my opinion. So in my opinion, I think that she had feelings for this guy. And I think that he rejected those feelings. And when he rejected those feelings, of course, she was upset. And so, what she had is, and so this opportunity presented itself in the course of whatever. And, this is what happened. This is what took place. And he ended up dead. So let's not get when there was a relationship between two people, and that's why I say this was a crime of passion. She was angry. She was upset at this man. She wasn't necessarily, she's not necessarily the consummate bad cop. All right. And even with the other stuff that they went and they found, we all know that racists love other races. Racists love other races. Okay. Look, Master did not stop raping them black women because they was black. You understand what I'm saying? Look, pay attention. It's like, don't think that they won't sleep with you. Just like there's another political commentator that comes on the internet, and and she's of mixed race, right? And she was like, her daddy called her the N-word. All right. So let's not get the game twisted, y'all. I think a lot of times we think that if somebody is a racist, or there just might be a curiosity or envy or a jealousy that is causing these particular things, and we don't even think about that. All right. There could very well be, an envy. Okay. So now we got past that. So we know that this was, in my opinion, like I said, this was a crime of passion. They had some kind of intimate relationship and it didn't work out for whatever reason. And then she figured out a way to kill him. And her thing was, I went in the wrong apartment or whatever, whatever her excuse was. And then the whole thing, but luckily, the 12 in the box, the jury didn't buy it. Okay. So that's good. Now, the second thing is, from what I read and from what I understand, there was no death penalty on the table ever, because let's be clear. Now, that is racism. The racism that I'm talking about is the fact that they are not going to take a white police officer and give them the death penalty over killing a black man. All right. That's unheard of. It's unfathomable. Like, pull a big word out of the hat or whatever, even if I mispronounced it, right? But I'm just telling y'all, the bottom line is they're not going to give a white police officer the death penalty over killing a black man. So y'all can get that out y'all head. In fact, they very rarely give a black man the death penalty over killing another black man. All right. In order to get the death penalty, you have to do something of a high and aggravated nature, and it has to be like superiorly evil, for the most part. It wasn't always like that, but nowadays it is like that because you got too many watch groups and all this kind of stuff. So you got people that are like actually monitoring the situation. It wasn't always like that. There was a time, when people just, were put to death, and it was like, my fellow legal beagles types, like Brown versus Alabama. Like Brown wasn't the first case. them Browns was always in some trouble. But go look up the case Brown versus Alabama, and you'll see that there wasn't always a thing about putting people to death. But they're not gonna put this, this white girl, especially if she looked like, she looked like a brown haired Barbie doll, right? They ain't gonna give her, the death penalty. So what I understand, and from what I read, it said that she had what was on the table was 2 to 20 years. And so so she got half. All right. And I know there's always been a disparity, in sentencing. We know that there's always been a disparity in sentencing. It has never been fair. It has never been equal. But the good thing is that, we can call this out, because I was just going through, and I was looking at some of the posts, and like they talk about how the guy that shot a police dog, he got 45 years. I was like, dang, that's a little extreme. It's a dog, y'all, but look, hey, they put Mike Vick in jail, for dog stuff. And, it's like people don't, white people don't go to jail for stuff like that. They really don't. I mean, it's just true. White people don't go to jail for stuff like that. They don't do it again. Okay, I won't. But now I want to hit y'all off with the spiritual aspect of this. All right. So so you realize, and then also the whole thing about the hugging and all of that afterwards and everything. You also got to realize these people know each other. They work together every day. Police officers are in and out of court every day. So she's probably been in this judge's courtroom like a million times. So, and like I said, with the whole crime of passion and all this kind of stuff, and yeah, she probably got caught out there, and her emotions took her somewhere where she has never been before. All right. Once you go black, you never go back, but, but you gotta understand, what's going on. And so as a police officer, you run into these bailiffs, and you run into the same judges, the same bailiffs, all that kind of stuff, right? So, so don't, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's like, don't really trip about it, because it's like, people are like, well, we too forgiving of every time something happens. But, forgiveness is, you got to understand spiritually, and that's why I want to break this down spiritually. Spiritually, forgiveness is in our DNA, because we are a majority right-brained people. We are not left-brained. So it was not until left-brained people were introduced into whatever. That's how come we got, people that murder people and people that do all this kind of stuff. The reason is because we got left brain people. Those are the warmongers. Those are the ones that start the wars and want to kill everybody and don't care and this, that, and the other thing. That's what it's all about. So that's why I'm saying, look, y'all, don't trip. Because it's spiritually in our DNA to forgive people. We forgive people. We don't try to crucify people. That's not us. Crucifixion, even when they killed y'all boy Jeebus, on the cross or whatever, that wasn't black people standing out there talking about, crucify him or all this kind of stuff. That wasn't it. So that's what I'm saying. So that in any situation, just like what happened in South Carolina when they killed those people in the church, they immediately forgave that boy, but it ain't changed nothing. He still got the death penalty, didn't he? So I'm just saying, there's a thin line between balance and justice and what's really going on out there, right? Because a lot of times, like, and then the attorney Crow, what did he say? He said the reason why this black man actually got some kind of justice was because he was a good guy. And like I said, it wasn't the run of the mill. It wasn't, I just caught Ray Ray, robbing the corner store, so I put him in a chokehold and I shot him. It wasn't that. It wasn't that kind of case. And every case is like done on its own merits. So on the merits of this case, is did you want him to get more time? Did he want her to get more time? Yeah, probably. But and y'all gotta understand too, all of this stuff, y'all know that the beauty standard and all that why you think that man wanted to hug that woman because she cute? Simple. It ain't that complicated. Black men like white women. Don't act like they don't. Black men like white women, y'all. And white women like black men. Don't trip. And everybody always be well, it's a shame how this, and after all the things that went on in slavery and all this kind of stuff, and it still goes down every day. Ain't nobody thinking about that, because we have allowed race to make us lose our humanity. We don't think, because at the end of the day, if you strip everybody's face off, if you took everybody's face off and they was just sitting there and all you saw was their skeleton and the inner parts of their body or whatever, we all the same. It's like there's no difference. It's only the mask, the outward things that we see, or the outward things that we start thinking about that make us have any type of opinion about race anyway, or what we've been taught or what somebody told us, And I'm telling you what happened. What happened was she got with that man, and she started digging him. That's what happened. White women like black men. Don't get the game twisted. So that's basically what happened. She got that because, like I said, and it wasn't like I said, it wasn't like the run of the mill. Oh, I caught you, running out the drugstore with a pack of cigars, so you could roll blunts. So I shot you in cold blood. That wasn't it. Or I planted drugs on you and then said you was a drug dealer or whatever, so I had to shoot you. Or like the guy in South Carolina, they just shot him in the back on video. And if the video camera wasn't there, that cop would have never got any time. But he got convicted too. Y'all don't realize a lot of these cops are getting convicted. They may not be getting a lot of time. They may not be getting a bunch of stuff, but a lot of them are getting convicted. But the thing is, the equalizer has been social media. The equalizer for us has been the media, social media, and all of this. Because why? Because now we have instead of like one dude, at CNN and one dude at Fox News, we got like a whole race of people that got cameras and they got the ability to make something go viral if it's something heinous and something that's been done. But before, you got to understand, before, she would have got away with that. Before social media, she would have got away scot-free. She would have never done a day in jail. Walter Scott's killer would have never, that's the guy in South Carolina, would have never gone to jail. They would have shot him in the back, said he tried to run, and they would have never got a thing. The guy at the church in South Carolina, he would have never went to jail. Without social media, without cameras and all of that kind of stuff, he wouldn't have went to jail. Y'all got to understand, it's a slow process, but the process is actually working. So don't trip over like circumstances, or don't trip over the time and all that kind of stuff, because that's unimportant. Because eventually it's going to equal out. And the other thing that y'all missed is that it was a black judge. Whether she hugged old girl or not, you know, she was on the bench. And she was the one that gave the ruling, because in past, that wouldn't have been happening either. All right. Anyway, gotta go. Fastest 15 minutes, social media. I'm Judson Powell. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, hit whatever. Just see you later. I love you.